because, like, at the end of the day, for me, I try to model jiu-jitsu to also be, like, as close to what I would need it to be if I have to defend myself outside of here. Unfortunately, there's a strong probability that I may have had to do that more times than, like, probably the collective of everybody here. A lot when I was way younger, teenage and early 20s a few times, but roughly 18 years ago, and I thought of this because a friend that I talked to right after it happened passed away like 2 years ago this week. So when I was thinking about him, I was thinking about that conversation and thought about this. So like 16, 18 years ago, I went out at night, 2 in the morning, whatever, young kid stuff. And while I was walking up to my car, so I could sleep in it because I drank more than I should have to be driving, somebody walked up behind me and they pushed me in the back and they just started talking. I couldn't even understand what they were saying. And I turned around and 2 of their friends came over like they were holding them back. And I still don't know why to this day. And I sat there and I thought for a second and I realized like they were walking next to me when I was walking from the bar and club to my, and there was more than 3 of them. Where are the rest of them? And I turned to look and I turned right into what, like nowadays, it would be called a Superman punch. Somebody running, and I took it right on the nose. Busted my nose open. I still got a little scar from it because it, like, not only did it bust my nose open, but it, like, kind of tore the nostril a little bit. I started gushing blood. The 2 guys that were holding the other guy back, that guy, they all started hitting me. Just everyone was hitting me. All I could do was tuck my head, curl against my car. I have a circle of 4 people around me hitting me, a car on the other side of me. And in this moment, one of the things running through my head is a story my mom had just told me about her friend's son in the same neighborhood where I was at that got jumped a few weeks earlier, that was still in the hospital, got a closed head injury. And the question was he going to gain full, like, speech and talk? And so I'm sitting there and I'm getting hit, and all I'm thinking is, like, yeah, I can't fall down. I can't go anywhere. My car's low. If I fall, I can't even roll underneath it. Like, I'm in trouble. And takedowns, in my opinion, saved what I call my livelihood today. Because the person in front of me, I was able to double leg up into the air, step out of the circle I was in, and I snapped him down to the concrete as hard as I possibly could. I'm sure he needed medical attention. What that did was create a space where I was outside of that circle. It allowed me to back up. I was able to back into a street where a busy road traffic would see me. People might help me. But I'm going to tell you this, you don't want to count on people to help you, because there was 30 people standing around watching this. And while I was getting hit, not a single person did anything to help me. No one. If I fall on the ground, in my belief, I'm not here coaching right now. I don't know if I die. Maybe I just talk with a slur or walk with a limp. But bad things happen in that moment. And why I believe in takedowns, because to me, I've been in, as I mentioned, too many fights in my life, and most of them end up being on the ground and in a street fight. I don't want to be the bottom person ever. And in that scenario, if I was the bottom person, my life as I know it today is not the same. That's what I truly believe. So takedowns are hard, and they're hard in the sport of jiu-jitsu, and I get why some people want to pull guard, like, because it's hard. We make these classes hard, and in the hard class I talk about you need to practice hard so you can do it, because it's hard in a match. But you need to practice hard so you can do it, because if you need it off the mat, your life depends on the success of it. There is no failure. Like, it could be life or death, and you can't come up short. And that's why I really like to have hard classes. That's why I like to really push, because if you ever are in that situation, and hopefully nobody is, like, it could be life-changing if you can't. And part of the reason it came up this week is a friend of mine from then passed away a couple years ago. And we didn't see each other very much in the last 20 years of his life, like 3 times. But the last thing I remember before those 3 times, the last time I saw him was right after that. And he saw my face messed up, and he said what happened, and I explained him and to what happened, and he said this to me. He said, "You're gonna stop going out at night doing that cowboy shit before you get yourself killed." And I mostly did. I'm not out between 10 and 2 in the morning. I'm more likely to be waking up at 2 in the morning than being out at 2 in the morning, because most of the trouble I ever got in my life happened between 10 and 3 a.m., 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. So I avoid it. But just know, takedowns are important for that reason, because if you need it, it'll be life-changing. That's my little story.